did I just create? A point. What is a point? Starting point?
Place that has position without size.
A place with position without size. It is purely conceptual. Can you see the point I put in the air? No. Does it exist though?
Yes.
Sure it does, at least in your mind. All right. A line. A line is an extended point with one dimension. What would that dimension be?
Length.
Length. That is right. There is only one dimension to a line. It is length. Lines are used for what? Blueprints. They are the basis of all drawings. All right. What do you call a line that extends from one point to another point that does not change direction? It is a straight line. Very good. What do we call a type of line that changes direction at every point? It is a curved line. And when we discuss TD1 and do that lecture, I'll explain to you how that works. For right now, you need to know that a curved line changes directions at every point. Let's talk about some line types. What type of line would this be?
Broken line.
That is a broken line. What do broken lines do?
Series of straight lines that change direction at each point.
Okay? Fair enough. All right. So if I take a series of lines and connect them, I create a what? A plane. Very good. A plane is any flat two-dimensional surface, and it has two dimensions, length and height. Also, you could call it length and width. Two dimensions. It doesn't matter what two they are. It's not necessarily defined. We will also use the word surface in this class interchangeably with plane. They're not exactly the same, but for the purposes of this class, they are. All right. What do you call it when you have two lines that come together at a single point?
Angle.
It is an angle. What do you call the point where they come together at? The vertex. Vertex the angle. Very good. All right. You guys are batting 1,000. If I have an angle and I measure inside of the angle, what do we call this? What measurement do we use?
Degrees.
Degrees. They are degrees. Very good. Inside of each degree, if I was going to break a degree down, you break them into minutes. How many minutes are in 1 degree? 60, just like time. And if I want to break down the minutes to the next smaller unit, seconds. So how many seconds are in each minute? 60. Once again, just like time. Very good. All right. Next up. What type of line is that? It's a perpendicular line. How do you know it's a perpendicular line? That little box right there in the corner tells us that that is a 90-degree angle. And the definition of a perpendicular line tells us it's when a line meets another line at a perpendicular angle. That makes sense? Very good. Parallel lines. Parallel lines are represented by two lines. Never touch. Because that is the definition of parallel lines, is it not? Lines which run in a straight direction but never touch. All right. Aircraft 101. Which way is vertical and which way is horizontal? Vertical is up and down. An example of a vertical line. Up and down. Horizontal line? about the horizon, the sunset, the sunrise. This is Kansas. We can see the horizon, right? Okay, good. What do we call that? Circle. This is a circle. Definition of a circle is a plane bounded by a single curved line, and every point is equidistant from the center. What that means is anywhere on the outside of this circle is equally the same length from here to here to here to here to here. That makes sense to you? And circles are made up of how many lines? One. And since a circle is made up of a arc, what do we know about a circle? That line must change direction at every point. Okay? What do we call the distance from the center line of a circle to one point on the circumference? The radius. Very good. In case I didn't mention, the circumference is the distance around the outside of the circle. What do we call a line that starts on one edge of the circle and travels through the center point to the opposite edge of the circle? Diameter. A little bit of math for you to remember. 2r equals d. 2 times the radius is the diameter, so conversely, 1/2 d equals r. All right. Now, what do we call a line that touches the circumference at one place and is perpendicular to the center line of the circle?
Tangent.
Tangent. Very good. Now, this line is a tangent because it is perpendicular to the radius and touches the circumference in one place. But what you will see as far as tangents are concerned with our drawings are going to be lines that look like that. The point of tangency will help us define the size of a circle on a hidden view. We'll cover more about that later. But that's why the point of tangency is so important. That is the point, the one point where the line touches the circumference of the circle. It's very, very important. Okay. If I have 2 circles, that share a center point, it is not a donut. What do we call that?
Concentric.
Concentric. Very good. Concentric. If I have 2 circles who do not share a center point, what do we call that? Egg-centric, right? Think of an egg, because it will not have the same. All right. Very good. Let's go back to our circle. I forgot one thing. A straight line whose endpoints are both on the circumference of the circle, but do not go to the center point, is called a chord. We have one other that I need to mention. A line that travels from the center point through the circumference of the circle at one point is called a ray. A ray. Think of a ray of sunshine. It just keeps going and going and going. All right. So let's talk about math a little bit here. And angles. You've already told me what type of angle this is. What kind of angle is that again? It's a right angle. It is 90 degrees. It's perpendicular. What do we call an angle that is less than 90 degrees?
Acute.
Very good. It's a cute angle. He's cute. He likes that. What do we call his fat brother over here? Obtuse. Acute, small. Obtuse, obese, large. Okay. When we have 2 angles that make up 180 180 degrees. What do we call that?
What was it? I'm sorry.
I have two angles that make up 180 degrees. What is that called? Complementary angles. So if this one's 120, and we know that this is 180 degrees, what does this one got to be? 60. Very good. What do we call two angles that make up 360 degrees? Supplementary. Okay. Very good. Let's talk about some types of lines. That is a straight line. It is also known as a solid line. It is used for making drawings. What do we call this line? The broken line. It is used for hidden dimensions, hidden lines. When it is a hidden line, it will be equally spaced. If I have one that is long, short, long, short, long, short, what is that used for? That is used for a center line. Okay? This symbol, write it down. A dashed line around a number is for a hidden plane. We'll see that. Are there any questions? All right, very good. That concludes this lecture. Thank you.